I talk about manifestation a lot and the law of attraction, and everyone thinks, that that's woo woo and, oh, you're being all about, you can manifest anything you want. So I'm going to give you 2 examples of how we manifest without even realizing we manifest. And a lot of times it's not what we want, because we tap into the frequency of something, and it's like attracts like. So we bring that into our own existence. So I'm going to show you 2 examples of how that's played out. The first one, okay, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to get, the saying his name gets you flagged on socials. But the orange man in the White House, right? So if you've been following, you know that he has for years, when Joe Biden was president, called him Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Joe, right? That's all we heard. Every time he referenced him, he was Sleepy Joe, because saying that he was always too old and falling asleep. And if you haven't noticed, more and more pictures lately are coming out of the orange man in the middle of meetings. The press has gotten images and video of him asleep in the middle of all of, the business that he should be doing as the leader of the United States. So he said it so much about somebody else that he brought it into his own environment and into his own frequency. Okay, so I just find it interesting that is one example of how, when we say things over and over again, how they show up in our own life. And, whatever his health issues are his health issues. And of course, that has something to do with it. But the fact of the matter is that is the only way he referred to President Biden for years, as Sleepy Joe. And I find it interesting that he is now always seen asleep. That's why they say, be careful what you say, because you will bring that into your environment. Okay, that's story 1. Okay, so here's story 2, which is actually funny. So, and it just happened this weekend. Bless my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is very healthy. He eats very healthy. He doesn't like processed food, make sure that everything's grown in the ground as much as possible. So he has been talking a lot lately about worms and parasites that we have in our bodies, right? That we have in our intestines and we have in our whatever, that we need to get rid of. So he has been making these teas. He calls them teas, but I would not call them teas. I would call them tinctures of these big batches of stuff that has oil of oregano, whatever it has in it. It has all this stuff in it that's supposed to help naturally cleanse the body and rid the body of parasites, right? And he has sent us videos, from people that he watches, and he's been talking about this so much lately, and telling, me, his wife, my sister, his daughter, my niece, my mother, his mother-in-law, everybody, to cleanse and to do all these things. So Mother's Day, Mother's Day night, our cat, Marlo Brando, so he's a boss. He's the boss of the neighborhood. We tried to make him an indoor cat, but he goes in and out, right? So he was drinking fresh water out of the sink, and I see my brother-in-law scream, "Oh God, he stinks, terrible." So I'm like, what is going on? So I jump up, it smelled like he rolled in something dead or whatever, animals do that. And hanging out of his ass was it looked like a long spaghetti. And so the cat Marlo took off to go to the front door. My brother-in-law grabs him. I get a paper towel and I pull it out, and it looked like a spaghetti. And we looked it up, and it was a hookworm. Okay, so he has hookworms, right? Which you just give them medicine. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not great. I mean, it could be, dangerous, but, you give him medication and it kills the parasites or whatever. So, so I said to him, and I'm joking, because obviously you don't want to, it's not like you're trying to do this. It's not like you want to hurt anybody or anything. But when we focus on something so much, these things show up in our reality. So because he's been so in this parasite energy of talking about him, thinking about him, sharing videos, doing the cleanses, he's tapped into that frequency, wherever parasites live, whatever frequency that is, right? And it just happened to show up in our cat, who we've had now for, God, I don't even know, at least 5 years, and he's had other issues, but he's never had worms, which is a parasite. And I'm like, it literally showed up in the reality. Because it's just crazy how that works. So the reason I'm sharing these stories, it's funny, the cat's fine, the medicated our other cat, it's all going to be okay. These things happen. But I'm just using these two examples as when we talk about something a lot, when we're in the energy of what that is, whatever that is, good or bad, the universe is neutral. There is no good or bad. So those things will show up in examples in your life. And that is what's happened. So of course, on Mother's Day, everybody's screaming. My sister takes off. My niece totally abandons us. And I'm like, what happened to you? I'm like screaming, get me a bag, because I didn't want to throw it in the garbage, because it stunk so bad. I was gagging, and we washed the cat, we cleaned everything like really good. But my point is I'm like, see, you've been talking about these damn freaking parasites and worms in our intestines for so much. Now Marlo Brando comes in with this big worm hanging out of his ass, and that is how you manifest. I just had to share it because it's too funny not to share. And of course, the orange man in the big White House is getting exactly what he says about other people to reflect it back at him. And he deserves it. All right. I hope everybody's well. Be careful what you say out loud, because those things will come back to you. All right. Bye-bye.